Okay, Coach Jeremy, just your overall thoughts on the game tonight.
Well, disappointing. I think we had the start we wanted. I thought it was a totally different tempo and pace of that first period compared to what it was like in Ontario, which is what we were looking for. And then we let the game get away from us in the second period. Turnovers and some breakdowns around our net. They had some good players on the ice, and we didn't take care of it. So very frustrating. And then they've shown all series that they're good when they're ahead. And once they got ahead, it was the game tightened up, and we had our chances. We didn't score, which was the story of the first two games. They got the lead, and then when they were playing from ahead, we weren't able to capitalize on what we were able to create. Third period, we're down. We're pushing. It was tight either way. That was the game they wanted to play. So very disappointing because we felt we could turn the game here, turn the series here, actually.
What did you see in that second period? Like you mentioned, about that 3 minute portion of the game, and
yeah,
it seemed like the defense kind of just collapsed.
Well, we turned pucks over.
Yeah.
We had too many turnovers, whether that was behind their net or at the blue line or on the breakout. And whenever you turn the puck over against good players, they have the advantage because you're not in your structure, and that's how they scored. So that's the standard to win at this time of year is high, and when you don't meet it, you're punished.
How disappointed were you in some of the top line guys? Like I know Baines was held scoreless. Like were you expecting more from them this series, or are you satisfied?
It's not about scoring, and I'm not gonna single out any individuals. I think as a team, I don't think we played to our level the whole series, which is disappointing because this is the time of year when you got to play your best to advance. And I thought, in a tough environment in Colorado, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't pretty, but we competed extremely hard and we didn't beat ourselves. Where I thought this series, we didn't do those things. And so, as a group, they gotta learn from it. It's disappointing to have to learn from it because your season's over. Because now the learning stops. Every game that we get to play in the playoffs is a huge it's experience for everyone and an opportunity to show that you can play at a higher level. And now it's over. And I think that's the thing about playoffs is that the level continues to go up, the competition goes up, and you either step up and show you can do it, or you're done and you're shaking hands. And that's where we're at.
You guys seem to come out with lots of physicality in this one early. Is that just something you guys talked about beforehand, a do or die game, or is that a little bit of the home crowd coming into it as well?
Yeah, well, I think it was really physical there as well. We would like to see more pushback there. Here, I thought we used our energy and our desperation to come out and be physical, and we controlled the game in the first period. The tempo was what we wanted. The pace of play was what suits us, and when we played our best hockey here over the season, that's what it looked like, and that's what it looked like against these guys. And so the first period was the picture we wanted in the game. But you got to continue to manage the puck. You got to continue to defend, and we didn't in the second period. And so they gain control of the game, they get the lead, and now we're playing from behind like the first two games. And so then it's difficult.
Curious on your thoughts on Zach Sawchenko. He has just a handful of games coming into the postseason. He kind of gets thrown in there and ended up having quite the postseason. Just kind of curious on your thoughts on him getting tossed in there.
Yeah, he did a great job with, obviously he was not able to get the reps or the games all season. And obviously there's an injury up top, and so then he gets an opportunity, and he did well with that. I thought he played well in the games he got in down the stretch, and then certainly come playoff times, boom, he's a starter, and he's a big reason why we won the first series. And I thought he made some big saves for us this series as well. So good story for him, good example for the group on how you got to prepare for your opportunity. You never know when it's going to come. And he was a really good pro and very well liked, very respected by the group for how he carried himself all year.
Tough way to go out for your first game on home ice, but there's so much that you can reflect on throughout this season. Yeah,
no question. I mean, I said it to the group after the game, like part of the reason why I'm I'm very disappointed because I thought this group had a chance to do more. We fought through a lot of adversity this year. We had a ton of injuries. The injuries seemed to never stop all year. We were a younger group than last year, so there's growing pains associated with that. So it was inconsistent, but we found a way to put it together. And I felt like that would give us a chance to continue to advance. Colorado, we felt, was a really difficult matchup, and we came through it. So I thought it was right there. And so part of my disappointment is because of how far I thought we've come, and I thought we had a chance to go deeper, and what a great experience that would be. So, it's part compliment to the group, and part there should be some regret there because I think we left some on the table with how we performed this series.
Yeah, you brought up the Colorado series. We haven't had a chance to talk to you about that, emotional game-winning overtime goal. Like, just tell us about what you liked in that series that brought you to the second round.
Yeah, well, all 3 games were extremely competitive, high-paced, physical. We played those types of games against them all season. It's a really tough rink to play in. Excellent atmosphere. It's hard, and I thought we rose to the challenge, which was, you're so happy for the group to get through it. You play 3 games on the road in a playoff series, like it's crazy, right? How we do it, but I understand why. To come through it was huge. So again, they can draw on that experience going in the future.
Yeah, you also mentioned, about all the young guys that you have on this roster now.
Yeah.
What did you hope that they learned throughout this playoff run that they could build towards for next season?
Yeah, well, I feel that my job here is to prepare guys so that they can contribute to winning at the next level. And so part of that, those steps you got to take in the process, you got to contribute to winning here. And so 40 wins, made the playoffs, win a playoff series. We're looking for guys to show they can be part of that, and what's there, how can they help us win, how can they contribute, because then you're trying to project that to the next level. And I thought some guys did it, a lot of guys did it at times, and then then the next round comes and then the level goes up, and it's a bit of things tighten up, and those are things I'm sure we'll talk about in the year-end meetings with guys. You get an idea where you're at, where you got to get to.
Yeah. At the tail end of the regular season, you were going with 11 forwards and 7
Yep.
defensemen, and then you switched back to 12 forwards, 6 defensemen. Can you explain what the thought process was on that?
Yeah, well, for that stretch, we were trying to get some young defensemen in, trying to get them experience. It's a good way to get their feet wet, but also not expose them maybe to a little bit too much ice. I thought it went well as far as giving guys some games, and that'll help them in the future. And I also felt the forward group, the way it was constructed, it fit 11. Like I was able to give some guys more ice and mix the combinations around. We get Podkolzin back, change things a little bit, and I also felt like against this team, we needed 12. So that's not to go to, it's a longer conversation than those things we talk about for a long time and go back and forth on it. But I think you're just trying to build the best lineup for that night. There's a bunch of different factors you consider. So, come out different ways.